And now, sci-fi mamacita.
I say, what's up, party people? Welcome to another installment of Forbidden Frequencies here at Sci-Fi Mombie. Of course, we talk about it once a year. We schluff it off. And tonight is the big one. It's called politics. But I don't do this alone. Hello, Miss Connie Cleary. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Doing good. Did you have good New Year's?
Yes. How about yourself?
We did. We had a great New Year's. We just spent time with my parents today. My sister, brother-in-law, nephew, and niece are over the flu, the new variant. They all got it. So, but I'm going.
Yes.
Don't give it to me. So, but of course, we have another guest with us tonight. It's Gorilla Man.
Hello, everyone.
So, hope y'all can hear him. We've been trying to figure out our mic issue tonight, so hopefully we're not echoing anywhere. But
yeah, don't get the frequency overload.
That's right. Don't forget to smash those hearts, smash that like button, share out the stream. Let's get more friends to come join us, and let's have a great conversation about politics. Before we start, here at Sci-Fi Mombie, we will never tell you who to vote for. We will encourage you to vote. So pull the lever. Get knowledge about the people who are running in your areas and the issues that are on the ballot. There are multiple times a year to vote. You know, it all starts local and it goes up. So please, you know, some people, they just do bullet ballots for president and that's it. So get involved in your community. That's all we're going to say to you. Okay. So let's go through the chat and say hello to everybody. Did you want to add something, Miss Connie?
Not at the moment.
Okay. So hello, John the Beagle Dad. Merry Christmas. Well, it's over, man. And Happy New Year. Happy 2026. Can you believe we're already here? Man, that went fast. Devil ears look good. Just kidding. It's not Halloween. This is Halloween. Oh,
Halloween.
That's a great movie all year round, no matter what. Hello, Jeff Green. New to the show. Politics? Nah. Well, come on, man. Join in the fun. We only talk about it once a year. I don't care that this is a midterm year. We're not doing it. Unless it's something like it's seriously important. Okay. You know, I tried that the last couple of years and I'm like, I'm burned out. Hello, Andrea Black. How are you?
Hi, Andrea.
Good to see you. Hope you've had a wonderful new year. But like I said, smash those hearts, smash that like button, share out the stream, and let's get more friends to come join us. All righty. So we did the disclaimer on encouraging you to vote. Hello, Gaming Off Grid. How are you? Welcome. So happy New Year. All right, Miss Connie, this is an 18+ channel. If you are under the age of 18, please consult the approval of your parental unit before watching this show. You know, we're adults. We try to keep it PG-13, but, you know, sometimes we go chasing rabbits. So please make sure your parents know you're watching. Okay. Let's be respectful tonight in the chat and everywhere. You know I cuss like a sailor, but over politics, I'm a junkie, so I will try to control myself. But, you know, let's just talk openly and nicely to everybody and remember that it's okay to agree to disagree and just be friends and move on. So, all right. Gaming Off Grid. Haven't seen you before. You new to are you a regular of Connie's?
If I remember, I think he's from one of the other the channels I know.
Okay. Awesome. Well, welcome. Hope you stick around and have a good conversation with us. But I guess what we'll start talking about is America too divided?
I don't think it's ever been more divided. It's us versus them, no matter what side you're on. Doesn't seem like anyone has any kind of platform. It's like they're anti whatever the other person is. I don't know. It's all crazy chaos.
I agree. It feels like, oh, go ahead, Connie.
Oh, everything's nuts. I think The whole world's gone hell in a handbasket in the last 10, especially the last 3.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I kind of believe that I'm going to kind of lump this into social media as well. I feel like the disinformation factor is so high that it really causes problems.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody just wants to believe what they see on the internet, and it's just fact. I don't know if you remember in the day, we're the Gen Xers here, right? We had to do our research by World Book,
Mm-hmm.
magazines, newspapers, and Britannica.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have internet.
And we had the card
And we had the card catalog.
And news well as well on the TV, radio.
When it seemed like journalism was highly independent of where it is today.
They had integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Journalists had integrity back then. If they said something, you could believe it. Nowadays, who knows?
I think that kind of went out the window. I kind of see all this coming to fruition when Dan Rather was played by that old couple in Texas about George W. Bush. That's where I saw the wheels fall off the wagon. And he resigned over it. I haven't seen him lately. He has his own podcast, so I don't know if he's okay or, he's just taking a break. He is getting up there in age.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the only time somebody done something to him that somebody else did something bad to him earlier. So Dan Rather's been really put through it.
But it just seems like, especially right now, because media kind of flows into politics as well, but it's like all these media companies are consolidating, and it's really causing an issue because it's, for one, a monopoly, which for a long time we didn't have in America. We had to fight that from when we got, we had to take charge of the Rockefellers and the Carnegies and the, all these other families to break everything apart. But now it's all, let me knock everything over on my desk. It's all coming back together again. And, so hi, Matt Cheatwood, 187. How are you? He says, legacy media is the enemy of the American people. How do y'all? I know I don't watch legacy media anymore. I used to watch the political shows. I can't do it anymore. I sit there and scream at the TV the whole time. I'm a political junkie. I like to follow this stuff. I like to know what's going on, but man, it's so biased anymore.
I watch a lot of independent media now.
Yeah, that's what I like to watch is the independent media people because they bring the straight news. I also, there's an app called Ground News that I really like. It's very non-biased, straightforward. They tell you I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just telling you what I use, but they tell you what news organization, which way they lean, how factual is the story. I mean, it's very handy, very handy. So who would y'all vote for? Well, okay. So let me give you a disclaimer. We'll tell you, but you need to do your research and make your own decision on who you're going to vote for. Okay, so we'll go around the table. Girl, man, who
is for?
What'd you say, Connie? Sorry.
This is what 3 foot above your head is for.
That's
your
right.
head.
Use that lump. That's my motto. Use that lump 3 feet above your ass. Jimmy Dugan told us that in A League of Their Own. Okay. Oh, here we go. I knew they were coming.
Yep.
If Kamala Harris runs again, I will vote for her. If Gavin Newsom runs, I will vote for him. So.
I agree.
Okay. Gorilla Man's. Okay. Connie, what do you think?
Me, I vote for my beliefs are in for whoever. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, or other. If your views fit my views, I'll vote for you. Even though I'm a Republican, I don't have a problem with voting with anybody that
I Republican too.
I can view in.
Yeah. I mean, I go in the ballot box and I I don't just vote blue all the way down. I do the research, and then like people around here, there are some great Republicans that run our county. I voted for them.
Mhm.
So I don't have trouble. At one time I would have voted for Lindsey Graham for president.
Yeah.
Mitt Romney. I would have voted for these guys. I would have voted for Nikki Haley at one time.
For the city I used to live in before I moved into Eastlake, in Welby, Ohio, I voted for a Democrat because he did amazing stuff for that city, bringing up from how it was from the previous mayors, and it's thriving now. Even though he's retired in another one that came into power, he's doing a good job too, for what I'm seeing.
That's awesome. Yeah. As long as they have the best interest of the American people at heart, I'll vote for them. And they show it by the work they do. They are public servants.
Yeah.
They signed up to represent us, not pervert for their own interest. That's my issue. So Matt says independent journalists like Andy, is it Nyo, and this Nick Shirley kid is our best. I'll have to look at those. I haven't seen them, so I'll have to pay attention to that. Hello, Alex Schneider, 7272. You're new. It's none of your business who anybody votes for, and a slur. Okay. Well, if you had listened from the beginning, we don't tell you who to vote for. We don't want to know who you vote for. I don't mind telling you who I want to vote for, but it's just opinion.
Yeah.
And to use a slur is very childish.
Definitely.
Very childish. Gaming off grid says, yeah, I know that. I just want to sell y'all opinion. Okay. Well, Matt says Harris and Newsom are both incompetent, even if they aren't totally corrupt. Well, there are some people running the country right now that are totally corrupt. Yeah. Hello, Chatty Blogger. How are you? It's good to see you. Happy 2026. Hope you're doing well.
I like to see the Senate, the Congress, and all the other ones have term limits.
That's right.
Once they go off and do what they do, they can't go back to that position or whatever. When they go to the private sector, they get what we get on health insurance, whatever, this, that, and everything else, and the pension, all that happy stuff.
They get rid of all the septuagenarians in Congress.
That's right. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to serve in Congress till you're 90.
Right.
You shouldn't be allowed on SCOTUS as a lifetime appointment.
Should be voted on by the people.
Here's my other one I don't like right now. You shouldn't be allowed to run for Congress if you were a lobbyist before.
Yeah.
You know way too much insider information that you could use to corrupt things. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be allowed to leave Congress and get a job as a lobbyist either.
Right. That too.
You also shouldn't be allowed to have insider information as a congressperson and buy stocks.
And you shouldn't be married to a lobbyist either.
No.
Nope.
But there's people that keep putting these people in every single time. And that's why that's why they're lifers. They only should have 2 terms, like the president.
That's right.
And the vice president.
Yep.
If I remember in the past, I can't remember who it was. It was back in the day, I think it might have been Boone or something like that. He was in the Senate for, I think, like 1 or 2 terms. And he said that's enough. She'll only be limited to 2 terms.
Yeah, exactly. Not like John McCain, not like Strom Thurmond, not like, what's his name from Texas? John Cornyn. Yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to park your butt in Congress, Chuck Schumer. And you shouldn't be allowed to do that. I'm sorry. It's time to let the new generation take over. So, hi, Melanie Olson.
Hi, Melanie.
Ho. Okay, clarify. Got to explain that to me a little bit. Oh, you mean hi? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Hold
But
on here.
hello, welcome. I haven't seen you before, but thank you so much for being here. Saying hello to Matt. Let's see.
No.
Gaming, you want my no. I can't. And I'll tell you why. JD Vance was raised by Peter Thiel and Elon Musk. Like when he was in college, he was a very liberal person. He was an atheist. And he goes to work for PayPal and now he's like this. I mean, it's just kind of, but his values and my values don't line up. Yes, we're Christians, but I don't like the way he talks about his wife either. So, but that's just me. What do you think? What do you think, Connie?
Yeah.
You live in Ohio, right?
Yeah.
He's your senator? Yeah. Yeah. Was your senator. Oh boy.
Matt Cheatwood said something about, hold on. I think.
Yes. Yes, Matt. Yes.
That's what
Matt said, yeah, go ahead, Connie.
Yeah, that's trying to pull. I had that up, then you got to Melanie.
Mm-hmm.
When you pulled up Melanie.
Well, I saw this one right here from Matt, Stupid Trolls. Yeah, they're out there. They're out there.
Oh,
Hi,
yeah, they
Sasha.
are.
How are you? Happy New Year to you as well, our friend in the future. Oh, that's just fine, my friend. We understand.
Yeah.
Your government tells me what to do. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
He's in Malaysia.
Yep, he is. You're heading to. Okay, well, have a good day at work. Don't work too hard.
Yes.
So. Well, do they? Matt says they already have term limits. They are called elections. Here's the problem. People will keep pulling the lever. It's identity politics. It's terrible.
That's why we have these people are entrenched after decades for the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you, Matt.
Yep. And unfortunately, people, okay, so a person is sane. They have clarity. They can use that lump 3 feet above their ass, right? But the minute they get in a group and they start hearing all these people, they start to believe, oh yeah, I believe that. I agree with that,
Mind hive.
Mind hive. Yeah. They start making bad decisions, So, but you're absolutely right, Matt. Stop voting for people in their 90s, 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Stop doing it.
Retirement age should be 70. I think.
Mm-hmm. Our government is corrupt. Yes,
Very much so.
Very much gaming. You're right.
On both sides.
Yep. We saw that one earlier. Yeah, I agree. No gifts, none. Also, you shouldn't be able to go to Congress and make millions.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Especially, go ahead.
Let's say that what he's talking about, the median income of their constituents. If they want to make more money, they need to make the conditions in their district better so their people make more money so they can make more money. That's it. Make it better for your people, and then you make it better for yourself.
That's right. That's right. And stop with the lobby. Stop with lobbying.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Matt. Oh gosh, man, you're just really
hitting
the topics tonight. Everybody running should have an IRS audit.
Yes. I was about to bring that up. Release
their tax return.
Yeah.
Hello, Upgrade VRGT. Welcome to the Galactic. Welcome to Forbidden Frequencies, Sci-Fi Mombie and Miss Connie Cleary. Do I like Trump?
Big fat no.
No. And Connie, what do you think?
Yes and no. On a few things.
Yeah, we respect that. The reason why I don't like him is because I work in media. I used to work in media, and I know for a fact that The Apprentice was a scripted show. That was not based in reality. That was based in Mark Burnett's reality of what he wanted. Donald Trump is not being transparent with us. Like right now, like if you're starting to have health issues, get out of politics. Get out of politics. Be honest with us. Hey, I'm having congestive heart failure. I'm having venous insufficiency in my legs. His father died of dementia.
Mm.
And they're not, there's a reason they're giving him a cognitive test every week, guys, and monitoring him with MRIs. You know, there's a class of medicine for Alzheimer's that you have to be watched for bleeding and water on the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And his hands are showing the story. He's, you know, if they're giving him these drugs through the hands, you know,
Time to bail out.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Okay, this be better the widescreen. Okay.
Okay.
Howdy, John. Howdy, Porthos.
Hi, Porthos. Oh,
I know I am a troll. I have pointed ears. I'm a troll.
April's sister used to call me that.
Yep. I have pointy ears. I really do.
She calls them.
Mine got filed down.
I have Vulcan ears. Yep. My grandfather was the first one to point that out because he's the one that sat me in front of the TV to watch Star Trek too. Yep. Say hello.
Yeah, I grew up watching when it first went into syndication for Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mary Trump does a great show on YouTube. You guys should go check it out. It's called Trek Politics. And she has a former actor, writer that does the show with her from Star Trek. Oh man, they talk about great things. So go watch it. It's very enlightening. John says, no, because all their minions are installed in key positions and stay. Yeah, that's another issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the same people keep getting rehired in the same offices over and over. Yeah. Yep. It's a cycle.
They get rid of the career professionals that know what they're doing and replace them with loyalists that don't know anything about the position that they're being given. And they're incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
Makes no sense.
Matt says, I don't have to worry about that. I am incapable of being in a group. I'm sorry. That's not good. So I get you. Xavier Clark says, Chuck E. Cheese. I know, it's a great place to be a kid. Do you know how much time I spent there with our first son? We went like every other weekend. We know. Oh my God.
Last time I was here was about
we used to go
years
show
ago.
Yeah. It's changed a lot. They don't have the animatronics there anymore. It's all television screens.
Yeah.
I know. I was so shocked.
20 years ago, when I was working at the bar, I was watching a friend's kid, his kids, their kids at the time when they were married. She loves Chuck E. Cheese. We will go there once a week.
Oh God.
Yeah, for about a year and a half. She has her own kids now, so she does it with them now.
Yep, the cycle continues. Yep, right. Pass it down to the next generation. That's why Five Nights at Freddy's that's where it came from. You know, their love of Chuck E. Cheese and Showtime Pizza. Yeah. So Matt says our government is functionally an oligarchy. Yes, and has been for decades. Yep, it's called capitalism. It's called capitalism. Yep.
Rich get richer, and they keep the poor poor.
Yep, it's true. Matt also says he does not like Trump, but I hate him a little less than every, you know, I get it. It's on both sides of the aisle. It really is. Just like the E-Man files are being released. You're going, God. No, it's just a kid. We will be having a discussion about the E-Man files and 3D PDO issues. It's coming up in the next couple weeks. So watch for that announcement. We'd love to have you come back and talk with us about it. There is also the appeal of throwing a wrench in the government. Yeah.
You certainly did that.
Look at what's happening in Iowa. Can you
Mm-hmm.
pull your chair a little bit forward? Because it's rubbing against the wood paneling. Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys.
Okay, I thought it was just me for a minute there.
I know yeah.
Okay.
But over this last week, there was a Senate seat in Iowa that was flipped blue. And President Trump won that district by like double digits. They flipped it by over 40 points. And I mean, look at New Jersey, look at Virginia, look at Mississippi. I mean, things are changing. Things are changing.
Why do you think they're trying to change the map so
Yeah,
Yeah.
my state.
They know that they got to do something because they're going to lose.
And SCOTUS just allowed Texas's gerrymandered map to stay. So they're gutting the Voting Rights Act.
Mm-hmm.
That just means they're scared.
They want to take away our right to
restrict people and
Free voting.
hard to vote.
Connie, they want to take away our right to vote.
Yeah.
No. Mind your own business. That's not freedom. Hello.
Could you put this in the closet or just on the table?
Autumn, the producer, everybody.
Hi, Autumn.
Our baby girl.
Yeah, our baby girl. Oh my God. 6
Good,
months.
that's
6
what-
months.
18. Anyway,
Yeah, Trump can't afford to be seen as senile after, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So I agree, John. Stop insider trading. It's wrong. Yeah. So why would you vote for Kamala? Because I like her. She's got a lot of experience in law and order. She has a law degree. She was a DA. She was Attorney General for the state of California. Senator, Vice President. A lot of the disinformation that has been issued about her is wrong. She's been happily married for a while, guys. Bringing up, I just, one rumor gets started.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of looking up the issues and knowing the facts, the rumor mill keeps turning. So a lot of what you've heard about her is not true.
I definitely would prefer her over Hillary. We may not agree on that,
That's a fine line right there with me.
That's right.
but
Hillary's
Michelle Obama, but
I love that. Well, and a lot of my issues with Hillary right now go back to the E-Man files. She had to have known. So, I mean, we'll talk about this later, but look at what England is doing to Prince Andrew. I saw something today on that again. There's a new book out. Matt says Trek is the most popular fascist. It's called Utopia, Matt. Everybody eats. So, Matt, hold the phone. There's still gold press latinum out there.
Yeah.
So there's still some capitalism out there somewhere. Ask the Ferengi.
Yeah, go see it. Thank you, Ferengis.
our good old friend Clark.
Matt says nothing wrong with not being able to be in a group. It's just normal. Yeah, that's, some people are,
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
Everyone,
that.
everyone has their own shtick.
Yeah. Hi, Lucas Everett. Welcome. Nice to meet
Hello.
you. Let's see. I wish I knew 19. So there was a Senate seat in Iowa this last week that got flipped by over 40 points to blue.
He's a state senator.
It was a state Senate seat. And Joni Ernst is retiring for this year. So somebody's going to take the seat. Who knows what it will be, but that's what happened in Iowa. Yeah. If government wasn't regulating every aspect of business insider trading, that's true. That's right. I mean, Martha Stewart went to prison for this, guys, and she barely did it. I mean,
Well, that should be,
yeah, go ahead, Connie.
Well,
The ones that should have been doing it are way worse than what she did. Should have been in jail for a long time and
And
taking.
she admitted it.
Yeah,
She served her time. And she came back stronger than ever.
yeah.
Ask
She
Snoop Dogg.
admit to it. She did it. She did her time. I give her a lot of credit on that. She moved on, and she's still doing good.
Mm-hmm. She had to rebuild her company from scratch because they
Mhm.
liquidated it to pay for her missteps.
Mhm.
So, you know. But Matt says, see, go down here.
Hail, Tim.
Why am I not voting for Trump?
he can't run again.
For one, he can't run again. Two, he's not telling you the truth, according per me. Three, my taxes, I was bumped into the next bracket because of the GOP tax. I call it a scam. And four, we don't need billionaires in America. And the president has made billions of dollars off of crypto, off of your money. If you all bought the Trump coin, y'all lost out. So I just be careful. Crypto is not the best way to go. I mean,
Let's hope you bought enough to get a invitation to the new ballroom.
oh, God. We don't need a ballroom that's bigger than the White House.
It's just hiding something else.
Can we just feed Americans first? How about little
Yeah.
children? You know, they just cut off
vets?
all. Oh, go ahead, Connie.
It just in our vets too. Need
Yeah.
help.
Yes, our veterans definitely need help.
Farmers.
Farmer. Oh my God, our farmers.
Oh yeah.
Instead of making Argentina great or making Israel, okay, I have to be careful saying this next one because I believe in the Jewish people.
Yes.
But making Israel great when both those countries have universal health care, it's not right when we don't. People just got kicked off their Medicaid, you know?
And people are going to lose their tax cuts, or they have as of today.
Yeah, we've lost our tax cuts. I mean, guys, this isn't my gig. This isn't my only gig. This is my hobby. I actually work full time and I side gig. So, I mean, I'm always trying to make that cheddar. But when my check is taxed ridiculously, it's not easy. It's not easy.
I got a question for everybody.
Mhm.
What if, I know we're going to probably hear slack about this, but it's everyone's own opinion. What if you just cut out the IRS and go flat tax everything?
Well, which state is it that did that?
I'm not sure.
I think there's like several.
Yeah, I think there are several.
I think it's Texas. I think Texas did that.
Personally, I think as long as those people on the very top are paying the same, I am more for that than for them not paying anything and
Right.
the load being on the working people.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what.
we're paying enough as it is. If we have to pay as much as we're paying and they're going to pay what they're supposed to pay, that's fair.
Cut out
Yeah.
the loopholes.
You know,
Cut out the loopholes. Why do they need all these loopholes? Donald Trump didn't pay taxes for years.
Yeah.
He kept rolling it for that loophole.
now Republicans haven't been the only ones to give rich people tax cuts. So I'll say that flat out. But I'll tell you one thing: we wouldn't have a multi-trillion-dollar deficit if the people at the top paid their fair share.
Mhm.
And that's the bottom line, because they get almost scot-free when it comes to taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not right. They're supposed to pass that down to the working people, and they don't. They hoard it for themselves. So it's not working the way it was meant to. So take it away. Really, I'm off my box now.
Yeah. I just, for me, I would have to see the plan first and
Yeah.
before I can make a true decision. If we're basing it off I think it's Texas. And my answer is no.
Right.
Because
If
the
everyone-
schools are failing, the roads are bad. there's something else. Somebody else, I was talking to somebody from Texas the other day, and they were telling me like the property taxes are higher and they don't get anything for it.
Yeah, if everyone pays the straight taxes, taxes, all that, I don't have a problem. Don't matter if you're how rich you are or how poor you are, pay the tax. The proper whatever taxes, the flat tax. No loopholes, nothing. Across the board.
Mm-hmm. After the stock market crash in 1929, the government broke up monopolies and they imposed a 94% tax rate on anybody making over $1 million. And that was the biggest prosperity besides World War II that America has ever seen until the 1980s. We built the country from the middle class out. This is the first generation in at least 70 years, my kids' generation, our kids' generation, that will not be able to buy a house.
And when they put us on a consumer-based economy, it really was, I don't know a better word, screwed the people from working class down. Because in a consumer-based economy, we are only worth what we consume, not what we produce, but what we consume. That means that the people on the bottom have to spend all their money to keep the economy working. And the people at the top can still spend money and save money and invest and make money on their money. We have to spend all ours.
Yeah.
Or their economy fails. When they took us off the gold standard, the working class, the middle class people, I mean, it's gone downhill since then.
There's not much of a middle class at all.
And that's one of the big reasons.
The CEO of McDonald's in the past couple months was giving an interview at a conference, and he said there is no more middle class, that we are a two-tiered society. There's everybody making under 100,000 and then everybody else over 100,000. And he's right. I mean, why does Elon Musk need $8 million a day on government subsidies? Why does Jeff Bezos need it? They don't.
Well, thank you, Gaming Off Grid.
Yeah, Gaming Off Grid. Have a good night. Thank you so much for being here. Matt says, we are not in the Federation, though. I know, man.
Yeah.
We're not in the Orville universe either. All right. Howdy, everybody. Malik, is that right? Malik Hamdan? Am I saying that right?
Malik Hamdan.
Oh, Malik. Sorry, Malik. I'm terrible at names. So, what's up, FKHC 2005, otherwise known as Tim? And the president has to take a mental test and stuff has to be given. Hey, everybody should take the same mental exam. Everybody.
Don't matter. Even if you're in a pencil pusher for whoever, they should take it too.
Yep.
Even in the mail department, they should do it too.
Yep. Everybody. Seeking utopia is the greatest cause of suffering in human history. Just ask the survivors of Holodomor or Mao's purges or Stalin's work camps in Siberia. Yeah, to a point. What is those countries where I'm trying to remember the one, and it's a female-driven society too. Everybody eats, everybody gets clothes, but you have to do work in the field.
Myanmar?
Is it Myanmar? No, Myanmar's under military control right now. No, it's like an island nation. Yeah, but I mean, it works for them. A lot of it is greed. The American dream is not what it used to be. So
it's not even as attainable as it used to be.
Malik says, I fully believe that she definitely knows what she's talking about. Okay. Tim says, the reason they didn't do a 25th Amendment on Biden is he said, no, actually, he passed his cognitive test. Biden just had cancer and the treatments were affecting his brain. I'm not trying to, the minute he found out he had cancer, he should have resigned. The minute you find out you're sick in as the leader of the free world. Are we free anymore? Anyways, that's another topic. But you should resign. Let somebody else handle the country. You need to, and honestly, he's almost 80 years old. He's 80 years old this year, guys. You know,
wasn't it FDK that had problems? The one president back in the time, his wife was kind of like running the show for him while he's behind the scenes.
FDR, right?
Yeah, polio.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Hello, Millicent Jordan. Welcome. Nice to see you. So much for being here. Thank you. Don't forget to smash those hearts, smash that like button, share out the stream on both Connie and mine's channels. We greatly appreciate it. Matt says, I'd like to see the income tax finally abolished, but we have to finally win World War III. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm really disturbed by what's going on in Ukraine, but in Gaza, what can I do?
I'm concerned about what's going on in Venezuela.
Yeah, this is, and Nigeria. Yeah. And people in Congress do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I got
they
a question for everybody here.
Exactly.
This is everyone's opinion. What if we cut off all the fundings for the other countries, close our borders, only go maybe like to certain countries that will help us, will help each other, and shut our borders down, and have all of our troops coming back, defend our country, and all that happy stuff.
We tried isolationism before under, was it Hoover? Dave, was it under Herbert Hoover?
I think so.
It didn't work.
And history has shown that countries that isolate themselves are usually in the beginning of some sort of decline. And we are. So it wouldn't be unheard of for us to do that. My worry would be, especially with the people we have in power right now, is that they would restrict the immigration to a certain type of people, certain color people, you know, and that's not right. You know, it should be based on your merit. It should be based on what you can offer, not what you look like, who you worship, none of that stuff. Are you going to be productive? Are you not a criminal? You know, and are you a good citizen of your country? Not some other pretense.
I don't know if I fully believe what President Trump says a lot of the time. Because Mother Jones and some of these other independent news outlets are finding out that a lot of the people that are being sent to CCOT and out of the country are actually law-abiding citizens who work. And, you know, he can say they're sending us, they're criminals. He can say that, but it's not entirely true. You know, a lot of the crime that happens in America is by white men. So I mean, God, if we were going to do that, what benefit would it be? Because immigrants pay billions into the system and they don't get to draw it unless they get naturalized. And a lot of them never make it to naturalization.
Let's see, they don't care about Medicare and Social Security to begin with. But if they take away the migrant workers, the people who are here that might not be legally here, they pay Medicare, they pay Social Security. But like something Mombie said, they can't draw it. You take the money that they're pumping into away, that's going to bankrupt this system. Nobody's going to be able to get their benefits. The people that are here and their citizens won't even be able to get the benefits. So, I mean, it's a conundrum. You know, we're going to have problems going forward with harvesting crops and things like that if they eliminate all the people who pick their crops. Because obviously they're doing it for a reason, because we don't want to do it.
You know, the other part of this is we outsourced a lot of our factory jobs overseas in the 80s and 90s. And it wasn't just the Democrats who were on board with that. It was a lot of Republicans because they didn't want to deal with labor unions.
And we just tried to get a multi-billion-dollar plant built here with help from South Korea. And those idiots deported the people. We invited it here.
They were all on legal visas. All of their visas,
yep,
all their visas were up to date. And that Hyundai plant in Georgia was going to pump billions into our economy.
And that's what said.
And now
never going to be open.
South Korea said, "Nope, we're gone."
Yeah, said bye-bye.
So, Matt says the government needs to be so small they can be funded entirely by tariffs. Matt, can I give you some advice? You're paying the tariff. They pass that on to us as the consumer. No country has paid those tariffs.
Nope.
He's not telling you the truth. He's not.
Whoever imports it has to pay the tariff to the government. They in turn pass on a higher price to us because they had to pay a higher price to import it.
That's why car prices are going sky high, because the parts are made in Mexico or Canada, and they have to. Do you guys understand how many times a car part goes across the border and back? Multiple times. Imagine the tariff that's getting lumped on that. And they pass it down to us when we buy a new car. Or we have to get that part to replace it in our car.
I'll tell you something interesting about tariffs too. And this is something that both Republicans and Democrats have done. In China, right now, there is an electric car and truck that they sell for $30,000. The rest of the world are buying them up like hotcakes. We can't buy them in the United States because they have a 100% tariff on those cars. So anybody in the United States would have to pay $60,000. They did that to protect Ford, GM, Dodge, and all their electric cars. Oh, Tesla. But it's not fair to us as a consumer because we can get an affordable, quality electric vehicle if we want it, but we can't because our government says no.
A lot of that is the fossil fuel industry lobby in Congress, and a lot of that is Elon Musk.
And the protecting of our auto industry, from both points.
Matt says, why are we subsidizing Walmart and McDonald's and every other company that pays its employees so little that they qualify for public aid? Exactly, Matt. Walmart is the worst offender. The worst. Not only do they underpay their employees, but then they take the SNAP benefits the employees are getting when the employees buy food at Walmart. So I worked their medical claims for years. I work for United Healthcare. That's my day job. And I love my career. But there are things that, I have seen. It's so infuriating. And the cost for the healthcare, and then we give them government assistance. We all pay in for those benefits, guys. Okay. If you need it, go get it. You pay taxes for that. It's not free. We all pay into the system. It's not free. Especially if you're an American and you're here legally and you are naturalized. If you need assistance, go get it. You pay for it. I hear that all the time, and I'm going, it's called entitlements, guys. We pay for that. We're not just asking for a handout. I really am. When I hear people say that, I try to change their mind. I really do. It's like Medicare and Social Security are in a lockbox. Do you know why? Because the Republicans and some Democrats who are centrist tried to raid both programs in the 90s and 2000s for pork projects, not products.
Projects.
Yeah. And, they went to the one thing I give George W. Bush credit for. He and Roy Blunt, which was our former senator, pushed the lockbox. They didn't want to see Medicare and Social Security die. It helps too many elderly Americans. So, Tim says, not from what I heard, and that is all I will say. Okay, cool. World War I, not 3. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. See, the income tax was imposed temporarily during World War I. Yeah, and unfortunately it went, where it is today. It is today. Oh, let's see. Isolation because of decline. Tell that. Yeah. But Japan came back, from what they did in World War II, they came back in the 80s and started selling high-end technology. And it brought them out of isolationism.
We helped them a lot with that too. We helped them rebuild.
The other problem, Connie, you brought up this is just a great point. The other problem is once you get to doing free trade and you have those open lines of free trade, it's hard to stop. And I'll give you an example because I know some soybean farmers here in Missouri. They lost their trade line to China on their soybeans. China was our biggest buyer of soybeans. And it went, and now they've negotiated something that President Biden had more being sold. They and there's 100% tariff on that. And here's the funny part. Argentina bought our soybeans. Do you know what they did in turn?
So China.
They sold it to China for double or triple the price. And Argentina in 2009 borrowed $16 billion from China and they've never paid it back. So why the hell did China make this buy?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Hey, Tim Garner, how are you? Hope you're doing great. Happy New Year. Matt says, yes, I know. I was talking about how tariffs were the sole source of funds for the federal government when it was formed, and there were no taxes. That's true. Mm-hmm. That is true.
It was a different world.
Yeah, it was a different time.
Yeah.
Very different time.
If you think about it, back in the day, Venezuela rivaled the U.S. in a lot of ways, and look at it now.
Yeah.
It dwarfs. Yeah.
And there's always been a problem out of Colombia and Venezuela with drugs. It's always been there. But we're supposed to be posse comitatus. People are supposed to have their day in court. If you're a drug dealer, you should have your ass hauled in front of a judge, not pew-pewed out of the water.
Well, I've been hearing that Venezuela really isn't that much of a problem. They're just moving it through Venezuela. Venezuela themselves isn't the one exporting. And that's why this whole war doesn't make sense.
Is he serious with that? What? I don't know, John. Question? Which question? Oh, must be somebody in the chat. Let's see. Matt says, I was talking about the isolation of Japan during the 1600s that lasted until the 1800s. Yeah, but then they did it again after World War II.
Yeah, the feudal system back then with the shogun and the samurai.
Yeah. Some people in Japan still feel that way. I mean, Japan just had its first female prime minister.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're paying families, what is it, 12,000 yen a child to boost their population. So,
young people are working themselves to death, basically.
Yeah. I mean, even here in the United States, we're seeing a decline in population. People are, I see it in my children. Our children are Gen Alpha. Is that right? All three of them? No, Anthony's a millennial. No?
He's Gen Z.
Is he Gen Z? Okay. I get so confused with the generational stuff anymore. It's hard to keep track. I know I'm Gen X. There we go. We all are here. But these kids are afraid to start families. I don't blame them.
The world that they live in isn't conducive for them to start and raise a family. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's gone on the decline since the 70s for people to have incentive to have a, traditional family, have children, buy a home. It's not practical anymore. It's just not.
I know. And that's actually been accelerating since COVID. I do know. Yeah. But we can't blame it solely on vaccines either. A lot of kids just look around. I call them kids, but they're my sister's age and down. They're just going, how can I bring a child into the world?
I know. I think the same thing.
Yeah.
I'd be scared.
A lot of unrest. So
I'm scared for my kids and they're grown.
So let me throw this out to you guys. Is it right that we are sending money to Argentina and Israel? What do you guys think about that? Italy is screwed. Japan, yeah, Italy has a woman that
she's a fascist.
She's kind of scary. Yeah. Japan and South Korea too, not to mention the nightmare. Yeah. Yeah. Lady Miss says nope. Hello, hey, Lady Miss. Happy New Year. Hey, Matt says it's not right. We should not be sending money anywhere.
Not when there's homeless, hungry, farmers going bankrupt. I mean, no.
We are the richest country on the globe, and we have children who go to bed starving every night.
And with the vets too as well.
Yep.
Yes, we should treat them.
Howdy. When I have time, I usually give money now because I usually don't have enough time, but I love to volunteer at the Ozarks Food Harvest. And I've seen the senior citizens boxes. Guys, I've told you guys, last week on the religious talk, I saw an old man eating dog food once when we went out on visitation. And it was shocking to know that a man who worked his whole life couldn't afford regular food. So it's terrible. I'm glad we have these programs, but more needs to be done.
That too. And there's some people that don't realize they can get the SNAP programs and they get help like that. But on the same turn, there's some that don't want to take it.
They're too proud to.
They're too proud to take it. Yep.
Yeah. Too proud, whatever the reasoning may be.
Lady Miss says we should be sending food to those places that we are having trouble growing or getting their own. I agree.
We need to feed our people here too.
I mean, and this is going to be selfish, Lady Miss. I agree with you. But then again, like RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? You've got to start internally before you can send the food out, I mean, I think we as America can do both at the same time.
We should be able to.
I think it could happen. So, but you have a great point. You do. To me, I'm okay with Ukraine getting our old military equipment to fight this battle. Good. Yeah, me too. I love myself. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. I think what Putin is doing is ridiculous. There was a reason. Do you guys know the story after World War II with Stalin? Why the Cold War started? I mean, and it's just carried on into Putin. It's been like ingrained in him. So does it say 1/125? I'll go fix it later.
Well, right.
And
a lot of people don't realize that Russia lost like 2 million men in World War II. And they thought that they should get all that land. that they fought so hard for. And what a lot of people don't know, the last person on guard at the Berlin Wall, KGB agent Vladimir Putin.
Yep.
He was the last one there.
Yep.
And
So
he didn't know until the very end.
So Matt says the government should not be doing a single thing that is outside the powers of the explicitly granted by the Constitution. Okay, so here's the deal. The Constitution is a living document. It is supposed to be always evolving. That is what the founding fathers wanted. It wasn't supposed to be black and white. It's supposed to be gray. Because they knew, the founding fathers knew that it wouldn't stay the same forever.
And they knew that they made mistakes that need to be corrected.
Exactly. Like, I envision, this is my opinion, if they came back today and saw what the Second Amendment has become,
Oh yeah.
I think they, excuse my language, fucking freak out.
Yeah.
I think they would. I think they would applaud the 25th Amendment, especially after JFK was assassinated. But I think they would also slap our wrists and say, why aren't you invoking it? And that should have been for Biden, you know, for Trump, for whichever president is fucking insane. So, but it's always meant to be a living document, and we always should strive for a more perfect union. So Lady Miss says we throw away tons of food. That's right.
Yes.
That is absolutely true, Lady Mist. You're right. Look at what so USAID has been disbanded. Okay. This was our diplomatic program. It's called soft diplomacy, to grease the wheels in other countries to get these countries not only helping their own people, but working with us as America. They allowed tons of peanut butter and other commodities to rot in the sun after they disbanded USAID. There are people that didn't get their malaria treatment. So their governments are failing them. Yes, we are. We're a throwaway society.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. If you think the Constitution should evolve, there is a way to change it, which has not been done properly. It hasn't been done. When did we add the last amendments?
That was a while ago.
Civil rights, maybe?
I'm trying to remember when that was. It's been a while. So Mike Johnson brought up something the other day that was because President Trump has been on this thing about he wants to be reelected in 28. Okay. He has been bombarding Mike Johnson with changing what amendment is it? Is it the Presidential Succession Act, where it says you can only serve 2 terms? And we deliberately put that in place because of FDR. Okay. I'm a Democrat. I get it. FDR was one of our presidents. I don't agree with what he did. I don't agree about him getting reelected. Okay. After 2 terms, he should have walked away like every other president before him. That was wrong of him. And there was a reason why Congress went in and made that amendment. We don't need a president becoming king and staying in power over and over and over. It doesn't, there's no kings in America. There's no queens in America if we ever get a female president. Yeah, FDR, I mean, yes, he was great during World War II, but
He was what we needed at the time,
yeah,
but he overstayed his welcome.
that's right. That's right. Plus it helps our farmer. That's right. That's right. It's not only open trade lines, but it's also the diplomatic and the humanitarian part of America that I miss. I think that may be one thing we're missing. Even President Reagan had empathy and compassion. He wasn't a hard, wasn't a hard ass all the time. So
Yeah, he definitely has his compassion moments.
That's right. If the founding fathers came back and saw how the Second Amendment has been trampled, they would start a new. I agree, Matt.
Yeah, he's not far off on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for the Civil War again to come out in this country.
Oh God. When I hear people, I remember a time, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I remember a time when people started talking in conspiracy theory like that, about a civil war, about this conspiracy theory, about that conspiracy theory. It seemed like the parties squelched it and gave the people the truth. And it just feels like our country is not doing that right now. And when you try to give the people the truth, they just ridicule you to your face because it's tantalizing. It's titillating to be a part of these conspiracy theories, you know? I miss those days. I miss those days. So
for the last amendment, it was the 27th amendment that was back in 92.
Wow. Okay, so it's been 30 years? 35 years? No.
33.
It's been a while. It's been over 30 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it was ratified in 1992, which prevented any law that increases or decreases congressional pay from taking effect until after the next election of representatives has occurred. Let's see.
Do you know what that amendment should really be for?
Ensuring public accountability for salary changes. It was originally proposed in 1789.
Oh my God. That amendment should be for our military. Congress gets paid too much.
Yeah.
Our military members don't get paid enough. They sacrifice their lives. They put their lives on the line for us. Also, first responders should be in that amendment, not Congress. Ugh, so frustrating. My grandfather was a drill sergeant in the Army for over 20 years. Little pay. Little pay. I just, Oh, boy.
2 wars.
Yep. Lady Miss says, I have a small garden that feeds my home and I give extras to my neighbors. That is beautiful, Lady Miss. Yes. Yep. Chatty Blogger says, we literally should follow Schoolhouse Rock on the Constitution. You're absolutely right.
I love that series.
I love Schoolhouse Rock.
I love that.
Honey, maybe we should show that for Forbidden Frequencies one night.
There you go.
Matt says people are talking about a new civil war. I know. It scares I walked into, so I deliver for Instacart and as my side gig. And the other day I stopped, I had to go to the bathroom. So I stopped at a convenience store in Podunk, Missouri, right? And they were selling those 1776 shirts. You know which ones I'm talking about. And I'm going, do you guys even understand? 1776 wasn't even 1776. You know what I'm saying? The wheels of revolution and revulsion were going on long before that. That's just when we decided to ratify our Constitution. We'd been working on it for years, but that attests to our educational system. So, which the Department of Education is being dismantled right now without congressional approval. Regina Daly says, Jefferson would remind us about what he said about needing the occasional revolution. True. True. But he also had a lot to say about enriching yourself in office as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He also had an affection for his indentured persons on his farm.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, moving on. Matt says the Tree of Liberty. Yep. That's what it is. What moron decided elected officials can vote on their own salary? Exactly.
Right.
Yes. Yes, it should be a public. How about we make it the Hunger Games?
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
You guys want to get paid?
No,
Survive the quarter quell.
No, do the running man for them.
Oh, that's Connie. That's fantastic.
I was thinking about
Yes. Oh my God, that's fantastic.
I was thinking about that for a long time for what Matt Keat would have said about all that for a while. That'd be awesome.
I think, and you guys tell me what you think. Citizens United really tore this country asunder because what it ruled, a lot of people don't understand what it really is. Citizens United was, the money was out of politics. You can only donate a certain amount. Corporations couldn't really do what they are now. It took it all away. Elon Musk donated 249 million. Is that the cap? Marian Edelson gave Trump's campaign 249 million. They can start super PACs and dump as much money as they want to in every super PAC they start. How about we take the money out of politics? What would happen?
Well, I tell you what, for someone who says they're not allowed to run, even though they hint about it, whatever, they certainly are drumming up campaign funds.
Right?
Still yet. Asking for $14 on Christmas Eve, in the middle of the night, like at 2:00 in the morning. It's like, what are you collecting that money for? You can't run again.
So Regina says, I miss the days when I didn't think most liberals were really pseudo liberals. You know what they're being called right now, Regina? MAGA-lite. Yeah. Like I can think of Manchin. And I during the shutdown, I get it. We shouldn't have had a government shutdown. I get it. But the 8 Democrats who voted to reopen the government got nothing in return. Nothing for the people. Yes, they got SNAP benefits back, but that was a fraction to what's going on with healthcare. And they were promised a vote. Didn't happen. Nope, didn't want that one.
Well, on the same token, our Republican president, for the most of his life, was a Democrat.
Yeah. Lady Miss says, so our country can do the same. Exactly. Chatty Blogger says, all military service deserves better pay, better living conditions. Yes. Do you guys understand what's going on with our military families right now? They're living in mold. There is where is that base? There's a base that jet fuel leaked into the lines of fresh water. You can literally light the water on fire.
And do you know how many military families live on SNAP?
Yeah.
Other public benefits? That's insane.
What about Gold Star families that are penalized now? That's not right. Their service member died in the line of duty, and these people have to give up certain things in order to keep their benefit? I don't think so. That's ridiculous. Matt says, I've been a libertarian since the early 90s. Okay. Saying hello to Regina. See, Matt also says the entire Department of Education overreached by the feds. Nowhere in the Constitution to grant the federal government Congress. Congress has the right to open any department they want to by act. Also, here's my problem. Isn't educating our children important? Shouldn't we have the same standard across every state? I'll give you an example. Oklahoma used to be the diamond of the educational world. And when these Republicans took over, they took all the money out of education, and now they're last. Their testing scores are terrible. And we have Common Core here, And I see why the kids are not passing in Missouri.
I believe that was done by this design.
Mhm.
They take money
Yeah.
out of education, the test scores drop, the people become dumber, they're easier to control. Less education, more control.
Jedi mind trick, Sith mind trick.
I'll also, I was going to bring up on that too. And there, some of the kids nowadays don't realize how Auschwitz was. They're not taught that, and how Lincoln
Yeah.
was trying to prevent the Civil War
Yep.
and gave this DARPA proposal for the South was like $10 million over like 10-year period.
Mm-hmm.
And grab the slaves and ship them back to Africa. There are people that even our age don't realize that either.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yep.
And
Fudge
there's
Boy
other things that they don't realize that what happened because they're not being taught it.
That's right. There's a lot of missing chunks in modern education, and it's all to fit their agenda.
Yeah, we're great, Fudge Boy.
Mm. This is the crowd I expect to see when I hear sci-fi Mombie's forbidden frequencies. Have you been to my channel before? Have you been to Connie's channel before? We have a lot of fun here. We're just doing serious taboo topics right now. We've got other programming all week long, so come back and join us,
Yeah.
Regina says the Constitution was ratified June 21st, 1788. We signed the Declaration of Independence and started a war. 1776. Exactly, Regina.
Yeah.
MAGA. She likes that. MAGA light. So fitting. Yep.
It's not beer either.
Yeah. Lady Miss says both sides of the government failed the people. Absolutely. Get rid of them all. Vote them out. Start fresh. Now, let's not do, what's that show with the Kiefer Sutherland? Let's not do it that way. Okay. Vote them out. So Matt says, not true. The power of Congress is limited by the Constitution. It is in there that they have the power to open any government office, any government department. It's like, they can change the title of the Department of Defense all they want to, but they didn't ask Congress to ratify it.
And we're not at war.
We're not at war. Who are we at war with? Nobody.
It's fabricated.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Hey, Joe.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here? It's called politics. We're talking politics in America. Every power not explicitly granted to the federal. That doesn't mean that the president gets to consolidate power to the executive branch and do whatever the hell he wants to. He has to work with Congress to do this stuff. He can't do it all by EO. EO is executive order.
And we elect Congress people to conduct that business that the Constitution allows them to conduct.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it stems from the people. Now they don't always do what we want.
Yeah, that's true.
But we choose them to do the job that they're supposed to.
Do they ever do what we want? Seriously. Lady Miss says, well, the commander-in-chief feels those that were wounded, or yeah, I know. Yeah. He calls them suckers.
They make him look bad because he got out of serving.
Yeah, he draft dodged 5 times. And Lady Mist, he did that. He ridiculed his older brother for serving in the Air Force. It's really sad.
Disrespecting John McCain.
Yeah.
He got captured, and that's why he's a hero. I don't like people who are captured. John McCain was American hero.
Matt, the president of the United States is a part of the federal government, and he is limited by the Constitution. Is it stopping him? Yeah. Yep. New Year's Day politics. We talk about it once and then we're done. I don't care if it's a midterms year, we're not doing it. We're going to have fun the rest of the year. So
Yeah, until next year,
That's
where we're
right.
talking about it again.
That's right. Lady Miss says, so he has no problem taking away veterans benefits. Yep.
He doesn't have a problem with taking away anything from anybody.
Yeah.
As long as it's not himself.
If it's to enrich himself, he's cool. He's cool with it. Regina says, I had a funny experience yesterday. I am a home care person. One of my clients is a Trump supporter with doubts. I'm not. We both think Hillary Clinton is an elitist. Yeah. She didn't used to be. But I got to tell you, a lot of these people, after the E-Man files have come out, they're elitists. So, yeah. Lady Miss says, and the people need to educate themselves on what the heck is going on in their world and stop listening. Yeah. Conspiracies. Yeah. I never thought social media has really amplified it greatly. And with scary, an AI, that's a line from Blazing Saddles Badges. We don't need no stinking badges. Oh, I quoted Slim Pickens, Mombie. Matt says, do not make the mistake of thinking, no, I don't think you are. I don't think you are.
That didn't cross my
No,
mind.
that didn't cross my mind at all. Nope. Look, I like a lot of Trump's policies, but damn, sometimes I wish he'd shut the hell up. He's sundowning. He's sundowning. He has dementia. They just won't tell us that. They're hiding it like they hid Biden's issues. That's wrong. That's wrong. Trump's dad passed away at 86 from Alzheimer's, severe Alzheimer's. Mary Trump will tell you that. Other Trump family members will tell you that. They need to let it out. It really worries me who is actually running the government right now out of the White House. So it's not JD Vance. I don't worship Trump. I just hate him slightly less than you really should hate him more. Sorry. And we're actually saving this for another episode, but I'm sorry. He's all over the E-Man files. He was a part of it.
And before anyone says anything, I don't care what party they affiliate themselves with. If they were part of that, they need to go down.
They
just
all
like the
need
rest
to
of
go
them.
down.
They're all a bunch of filthy, disgusting pedophiles, and they all deserve what they get.
Be careful with the algorithm. 3D PDOs. Yeah, 3D PDOs.
Okay. Sorry.
Any person who harms a child needs to be locked away. Anybody.
And then some.
Yep.
There's a special place in hell for them.
That's right.
And the thing is, if they're in Gen Pop in jail, they're taken care of.
Yes, they are. Yeah. It's not just something you see on TV. It really does happen.
Yeah.
It really does.
Big robbers, the murderers for the adults, they're up here. The peds are down here.
Yeah. Joe says, my favorite politician was the chair of the DNC. She stepped down when she found out they were going to use the superdelegates to screw Bernie. Are you talking about, she's from Florida, right? I can see her face and her curly hair. I think that's who you're talking about. But yeah, I remember that when that came out. Yep. Matt says you should hate Kamala, but I recognize your freedom. Why should I hate her? Tell me why. I want specifics, not your feelings. Let's go on facts. Why? What has she done that is so bad? And I know her record. I mean, she's a lawyer. She was a DA, so she fought crime. She was attorney general. She fart. Oh my God, she farted. Oh my God, that's the reason to hate her right there. No. Uh-oh, who's that? Oh, someone. She fought against corporations in California. She, you know, led the good fight in something. She was a senator. So, I mean, is it because she's a woman? What is the real reason? She did 2 tours in Iraq. She was the first. Oh, don't talk about her. Yeah, she is also on the side of what's his face from Syria and Tulsi Gabbard. I thank her for her service. However, I think she's just gone a little bit off the deep end lately. Kamala's record of imprisoning why is he calling me now?
I just texted him.
Yeah, he's calling me. I don't.
He's texting me back.
Okay. She did 2 tours in Iraq, you know, but Kamala's record on that, are you sure it wasn't the localities that did that? And it wasn't just black men. She knew Kamala so bad in the first primary debate that her money dried up and she dropped out. What's wrong? The race. Well, that wasn't the only reason. It was apparent that a woman was not going to win the 2020 election. So it has a lot to do with misogyny and sexism. Oh. She's a black female and our government is still, yep, rich white man's domain. Yep. Yep. Oh, man. But don't forget, there's more that unites us than divides us, right?
Mm-hmm.
There really is. Really is. We're a melting pot. So we need a lot of reform. Everybody's not going to like it, you know, especially on immigration. Here's what scares Americans. Are you ready? Are you sitting down? Change scares everybody. And I hear, look, I grew up in the Southern Baptist Church. Okay. The motto was, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's why a lot of 3D PDOs are still being allowed in the church doors because it's broken and they don't want to fix it. They don't want to confront them. Look at what happened to the Catholic Church. It took a lot of time and effort to get that overthrown. And there's so many facets of our government that just, you know, I think Tulsi could win if she ran. I wouldn't vote for her. She's too close to Putin. She won't take corporate money. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? So that will never happen. No, I think I don't think I wouldn't. But that you guys are more than welcome to. So Lutherans had the same motto. Exactly. Yep. So if she wasn't so close to Russia, I would think about voting for her. She spent a lot of time in Russia when she wasn't serving in Congress. That's why she went and met with Assad in Syria, because Putin asked her to. So they all take money. That's right. Yep. But like I said earlier, what about taking the money out of politics altogether and voting on their record? How many people actually sat in the chair in Congress all year long? How many? How many votes did they do? Well, they're more embedded in our politics than you know. And they're falling apart. And so this is their way of lashing out. They go after other societies and they're voting. What's up?
I'll tell you after.
Oh, okay. Are they being pains in the butts? Okay, figured. Boys.
Grown adult boys.
Grown adult men. Yeah.
No surprise.
Matt, I know this is probably considered a conspiracy theory, but this is my opinion, and I know I try not to, but Trump spent a lot of time in Russia. And sometimes I feel like he truly is a Russian agent with the way that he sides with Putin over the American people.
Over any people.
Over anybody. Yeah. So what do you think, Connie?
Mm-hmm.
I know, right?
Yeah, right.
They get paid by the hour like most do, and only if they show up for work. Ooh. I like that idea. Which politician on the Hill is going to lead the charge to stop lobbyists? That's the only way to get money. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You're right. Yep.
I don't think if they had the enticement of making all that money, it would weed out a lot of the non-serious people running for public office.
Yeah. Regina says, even so, the Lutherans were able to make changes to their acceptance of LGBTQIA plus and efforts to bring in more than just white folks. Yep. Everybody, isn't that what Matthew, what is that verse? Go ye therefore and teach all the nations. Yeah. I would, if I could run. I would. I wouldn't do it. I do grassroots.
I think that's the biggest
like this
problem.
podcast is.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go to Washington to be public servants. They go to Washington to be self-servants.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
We've lost the reason why you run in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sad.
It's like that son with the money.
Yep. Yeah. Women in ministry. That was the one thing I didn't really care for about the Southern Baptist Church. Because there are women in biblical history and other history, when the men were failing, the women stepped up and did the preaching, did the community work, carried the burden.
Mm-hmm.
And the men did not get the praise for it. The women did. So let's see. Matt says, I'm just about ready to support the Starship Trooper form of government. Only veterans get to vote because they were the only ones willing to risk their life. I don't know about that. A lot of us are risking our lives on the home front while they're out fighting for our freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Look at World War II. The women entered the factories to produce everything while the men were fighting at war because women weren't allowed to serve in combat. And did they not just roll that back again? So thank you, Hegspeth, or as I call him, Keg's breath. Anyways, why can't I run? I've got a lot of issues. I really, the past 4 years have been crazy. Some things have happened and I got catfished. So they would use it against me. So I'll work at my community level, but I mean, if I wanted to at one time run, I wanted to. So. Anything else we want to put forward with politics?
We covered a lot of bases.
We haven't covered the First Amendment or religion. A lot of people are on that kick right now with white nationalism about religion and the Constitution. I say you worship how you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Leave people alone.
And leave politics out of it.
That's right. The Constitution gives us that freedom to worship how we want to. On purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Run for city council.
I can understand the religion staying in the religious schools. and everything
That's right.
else.
Mm-hmm.
And the public schools stay public. If you want to bring in the praying, that should be each school district. I know there's people that have their own religions. That's fine.
I honestly think that the schools shouldn't force kids to pray.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't think they should prevent them from it if they want to.
Yeah, give them the option.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And like, do they even say the Pledge of Allegiance in the schools anymore?
I don't think so.
Because I know when I was in school,
Every
we always
day.
did the pledge in the mornings.
Yep.
Every day.
Yeah, I remember we did it every day. And I've asked I still have a child in school. She's like, nope, we don't do it.
Even in high school,
Why?
I remember doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So world wars did not start with a bang. They crept in. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, look with World War, was it the first war or the second war that started off where someone got killed. High rate. I think was it World War II?
Yeah. Didn't the Germans assassinate the? That's what I'm talking about.
Guys are Wilhelm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't he Austria?
Yeah, Austria.
Yeah. It was the Germans both times.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, both times. Yeah.
They were on a quest for power. That's the problem.
Hmm.
You guys do know that Trump is half German, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, World War I. And then they didn't like what happened in World War I. They came back in World War II.
Yes.
Schmittler.
If somebody just would have got him when he was fighting in the First World War.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, Matt.
Yes.
You know, or you're not imposing your religion, forcing people to convert. There's a lot of talk about that right now in the Christian community. And I'm going, where the hell are you guys getting this shit from?
Look at the Inquisition.
The Inquisition. Yeah. You were waiting for me to do it, weren't you? Exactly. The Catholic Church was imposing its religion on people. Hey, it's their religion, but it doesn't belong in the United States. Sharia law does not belong in the United States.
Well, it's something that we discussed before we came on when we were going to talk about the topic of abortion. I believe that the people who forced it through the Supreme Court to get Roe v. Wade changed and all this, it's because of religion, all of it. Because most people who are anti-abortion are Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them that protest it are against it and everything. So they're trying to implement their religious views through the law, saying we don't believe this, so the law should say that. That's the same as a Muslim person saying, okay, well, my religion says if you steal something, you get your hand cut off. We're going to implement that.
No due process. Yeah.
You know, so it's the same thing because of what I believe, what my religion says I believe, that's what the law should be. And it shouldn't be for any religion. You know, and I'm a Christian. I don't think it should be for Christian religion either. Anyway.
Yeah. And a lot of Sharia law is by radicals. People who are taking the Quran out of context. And unfortunately, it's happening here in America with Christian nationalists. They are taking Christianity and perverting it to their own selfish agendas. And I've felt that way for a long time.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
There are some cities that actually have the whole city is under Sharia law, run by all with.
Here in America?
Yeah.
What cities?
I can't remember offhand, but they're here in, I think there's one in Michigan. I think there's one in Texas. I could be wrong.
I don't think it's constitutional.
I don't agree with it, but if say 90% of the community is that, if they don't push back against, who are we to say? That's their
Yeah.
community.
They do their
But
own laws,
it's-
everything.
But if it's not constitutional, they shouldn't be doing it. Like
No,
I know
no.
in Texas, they
It's a state level.
prosecuted, I know in Texas, they prosecuted a judge who was trying to impose Sharia law because he was a Muslim on his rulings. And that was against the Constitution of Texas.
Mhm.
So I've heard of that, but I'm surprised. So Lady Miss says World War II began when Germany invaded Poland, September 1st, 1939, prompting Great Britain and France to declare war on Germany. Yep. Matt says, I think abortion is a horrible tragedy, but I also think it should remain legal. You know, Matt, the Bible says that you're not a whole person until you take your first breath. That's in Psalms. No, not Psalms. Where is that at? Is that Leviticus? I heard it
We'll look it up now.
recently. Yeah, I'll look it up and I'll make sure to talk about that. But science has also brought a new level of understanding of how the human body works. Now, I have 3 healthy children. We have 3 healthy children. Did we go through hell having them? Uh-huh. I'm a freak of nature. Really, Alex? Really, co-host Vic? Now, do I support on-demand abortion? No. But that's not my choice. That's not that choice should be between you, a doctor, and God. Would I do it for me? No. Now, medically necessary, I support that. Because of what my freakish body did to have children. There are women dying right now because of their state's laws that they cannot even get a medically necessary one. There are some states that are trying to pass laws to punish the mother
Mhm.
for a stillborn. That she has no control over that. You know? I mean,
Night, John.
so. Oh, did John go to bed?
He says
Good night, John.
Night, John.
So
See you next year.
that's right, Matt. That's right, Matt. There are some people who should not be parents. Just because you have the ability to reproduce doesn't mean you should. You know? And sometimes there are situations where they don't have a choice, like grape and incest, you know? It goes back to how I feel. If you harm a child or you grape a woman, there's a special place in hell for you and in prison. You know, that shit needs to stop. Lady Miss says World War I began June 28th, 1914. The date marks the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria and his wife Sophie in Sarajevo, which triggered a series of events leading to the war. That's right.
Yep.
Hello, Mark. Kapla. The Klingon Empire will take the planet and install a high council and the imperial overseer. Problem solved. Then again, they might not want this worthless ball of mud. Drive by like.
Thank you, Mark. Kapla.
Oh, long live the Klingon Empire.
Damn right.
Yeah. Regina says, so catfishing is like mental illness. George McGovern's running mate, Thomas Eagleton, had to step down only 18 days after becoming his vice presidential. Well, I'm just worried that they're going to use it against me. So there's a lot. I'll have to unpack it. So probably in Minnesota. Okay. Matt says he's not a Christian. That's okay. Life to him begins at conception. Yeah, you know, that's fine. Cells divide every day. You know, I believe that when the first heartbeat happens, you know, but the Bible specifically says first breath, and Israel believes that. The Jewish people believe that. And Israel has abortion rights since 2019. So I just checked. There are no cities run by Sharia law. Okay. Okay. Lady Miss says they are making women carry. Yes, they are dead fetuses and putting a woman's life in danger. That's right. They are. Night, John. Been fun. See you next year. We're already in next year. You're funny, John. She might be thinking of Dearborn, Michigan, the first major Muslim city in the United States. Okay. And the last I heard, they are not using Sharia law, but they just have more Muslims on city council. So, but we can, you know. Regina says, prison just because your baby is born dead. I know. They're trying, though. You know, the other thing that, and we're going to actually do a show about abortion as well, is a lot of the pro-lifers aren't really pro-life, they're pro-birth. Because once the child or the person is here, we have to be pro-life in everything. From feeding to clothing to getting them a job to giving them the skills to getting them out of public education or, you know, whatever, till death, retirement. You know, that is the scariest time for our aging population is then. So if I ran for office, Regina says, the fact I called the cops on a stalker neighbor could possibly be used against me. I just worry about it because I lost a lot of money thinking that what I was going to meet a certain person. I'm worried they're going to use it against me. If you run for office, anything can be. That's true. That's true. That is true.
So. Something that you did in third grade could be used against you.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure me.
Even how stupid it may be.
I'm sure me in fifth grade pushing a guy's plate off of the table at school because I was standing up for my friend. And I got chili all down the front of him because he deserved it. He's like one of my really good friends now. So, because I stood up for one of our other friends. But yeah, this is what I love about having these conversations, because we can all agree to disagree. And we had a couple trolls, right, at the beginning, using slurs. But here we are having great conversation. Nobody's mad at each other. Nobody's flinging feces at each other. It's just a great talk. So, are they at it again? Oh. So, yeah, I know. He was trying to put chili down her white outfit that day, and I just said nope.
He got the chili end.
He got the
pun
chili.
intended.
This is what I meant by civil conversation. Yep, absolutely. And I've had a couple people in our community on before, and you know, they would show up in the chats and bitch and complain, and then when I had them on the show and we had a really good civil discourse talk, they're better friends now than they were before. So, you know, but you know, it was funny the other day on my friend's TikTok live stream. She said this one really alt-right guy came into the panel, and she's like, okay, well, tell me your values. Well, I believe working hard. I believe that too. I believe in paying your taxes. I believe that too. I believe in going, worshiping how you want to. I believe that too. That she kept going down the list of the values, and in the end, she goes, "We're more alike than you think. We just have some things that are different."
Mm-hmm.
Like he was gung-ho misogyny, sexism. The boomer generation, it's kind of really hard to change their mind about gender roles. It really is. My parents are different. My parents are, so, but yeah, just it got him thinking differently about, hey, liberals aren't that bad. I loved it when she pulled out the definition of a liberal. That cracked every time you tell somebody that definition, they go, "Oh, so it's not a dirty word." Well, duh.
Yeah.
See, Matt says, "I think a lot of lefties would call me far right, and a lot of far right folks would call me a lefty. So call yourself a centrist. Stay in the middle.
Or middleist.
Be Malcolm in the middle." Oh.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
Hi, Malcolm.
Yeah. By the way, that comes back April 10th on Disney Plus, guys. Get ready. It's gonna be great. All right, guys. Well, great talk tonight. Anything you want to wrap up with, Miss Connie, before any new shorts? Wait, we got one more. Let's see. Matt says, "I call myself a liberal, old school. What matters to me is liberty and freedom." That's right. That's right. We all deserve it. So that's what makes America great. That's what makes America great. Freedom and liberty. The Liberty Bell doesn't have a crack in it for no reason. Lady Liberty isn't standing up in the Hudson Harbor for no reason. She was a gift from France because we fought for our freedom.
Originally the Statue of Liberty wasn't holding a tablet. It was holding chains.
Yep.
And they were afraid that it would bring anti-slave sentiment to the United States. So if you look, you can't see them, but at the base at her feet, those chains are hanging there now.
Regina, I tell you, a lot of the boomers that come into that live are men in their 70s. And if they were the ones that changed everything about gender, they surely aren't showing it.
Yeah.
I mean, they've reverted back to something, right now with the way things are going with Christian nationalism, I fully believe that this is like a level of, I call it mental health illness that we've not really ever seen. It's kind of like, how do I say it? Yahtzeeism on steroids. So, and who was the guy that said fascism would come to the shores, looking like a sheep, but it's really a wolf in sheep's clothing?
I can't remember who it was, but yeah.
Yeah. Matt says, "Don't get you started on gender." Well, we could have a conversation about that. I actually have that written down as one topic, so it's coming. Good night, Lady Miss. You take care too. Happy New Year. People have become so divorced from reality. Yes. And the pandemic made it worse.
Unfortunately.
We all need that interaction and that socialization that a lot of people aren't getting. So, yeah, I know. That's why I said it's 70-year-old men. And most of the time it's 70-year-old white men. That might be another great conversation to have, Connie. Why do men feel like they are being gypped so bad?
Yeah.
To me, I was always passed up for promotion by a white guy. So I don't get it. All righty, guys. Miss Connie, you got any shorts coming out? You got anything going on?
Actually, one drops tonight. Then I have one drop tonight and one on Sunday. I'll be with the birds on Saturday. I'll be with you for the rest of the year.
On night long. Oh.
Long.
And we could have a whole conversation about that, Matt. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So, of course, this is Gorilla Man. He is my husband, and we are working on things, and he will be a part of the show going forward in some fashion or another. Co-host Vic may come back as well. But Autumn, the producer, told me to cram it, Mom. She gets to stay on the logo, but she's busy. She's a busy girl. It's 5 months to graduation.
Yeah.
I'm crying. So
she's gonna be 18.
Oh my God. Can't believe we're here. But come back Monday through Friday, beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific for the Galactic Cafe. Bring your breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a snack. Bring a beverage of your choice because it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's talk mostly about sci-fi. Thursday nights, we restart next Thursday with Orville Thursdays. We have 2 episodes left, y'all. 2 episodes left of the Orville. We're going domino. So get ready to watch us cram it up the Kalon's ass.
And we worship Hertz.
Was it
And we
Or
worship
Avis.
something the donkey? What do they call it?
hugging the donkey.
Hugging the donkey.
Hugging the donkey.
Yeah,
Thank you, Malloy. Thank you, Gordon. Saturday nights in the studios, we are watching Star Trek, the original series. Come join Connie, me, John the Beagle Dad, and JRC 99 US for a great time with Star Trek. We are in season 2, and we're going to keep moving forward with Star Trek on Saturday nights. Sunday nights, we've moved Muppets to Sunday nights because we just have more freedom that way. Also, Forbidden Frequencies will be moving to Sunday nights. So watch for that. Monday nights, it's Tunageddon in the studio. We are watching all kinds of Animation Domination and other great animated shows. So come join us. Connie and I are working on a comedy night. And so is Gorilla Man. Oh, by the way, when the Orville is done, we will be moving to Battlestar Galactica because I've never seen it. Sorry. It's Mombie watching it for the first time. So come back and join us for that. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I lost count of how many times I've seen that series.
And Edward James Olmos is going to be at one of the conventions that we're going to, and I cannot wait to meet him. So maybe I'm hoping I can get like a little video with him, and then I'll share it with everybody. So Regina says, my mom used to tell the guys if women could work, they could be housewives to their faces after church. I love your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. Okay. So
yeah, when I saw her comment, I was thinking of that too. I was chuckling.
My mom and your mom are a lot alike, I tell you. So that's pretty good. All right, guys, have a wonderful week. Happy New Year. Buckle up. 2026 is going to be a great year here at Sci-Fi Mombie and on Miss Connie's channel, Fluff Chick Productions. So we're going to have fun. We're not talking any more politics after tonight. So unless it's like really important. So
yeah.
All right, y'all.
This year.
That's right. It's saved for next New Year's, 2027. All right, guys. I will be putting out a schedule, so watch for Forbidden Frequencies. And thank you guys for the great chat. Really good tonight. All right. Later, party people.